Rock and roll may live forever, but we only retire once. Kevin Lamour of Our Financial Plans and Quadris Investment Services offers a large range of financial solutions from some of the biggest leaders in the investment and insurance landscape of Canada. See how a solid financial plan built with friendly and professional advice can help. Find out more at ourfinancialplans.ca or give them a call at 705-949-1316. Hey folks, and welcome to another episode of the Lonesome Cowboy podcast. And coming back for a visit, my good friend James Gedda from way down Indiana way, right?
Yep, Indiana way by
Anyway, Indiana
Chicago.
way. There you are, man.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Indiana's not far down from much, but definitely from your neck of the woods. Yeah.
Hey, don't watch that new movie, House of Dynamite on Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, it talks about Chicago getting hit with an errant nuclear missile.
Whew. Yeah, that's yeah.
Anyways,
I hadn't heard of that one, but I'll steer clear of it.
yeah. Anyways, so you got a new album out coming, sir, and it is called
Yes, it is called South of Mars, due out November 21st.
South of Mars, eh? Is that a
Yeah.
taken from a song that's on the album, or are you really thinking this was
So
at
it's
South of
ta
Mars?
so it's taken from a song on the album,
Okay.
but the song title comes from a pretty unique place. I got the idea of it from a video I saw well over a decade ago of Macho Man Randy Savage
Oh
talking.
my.
And he was, in his signature, very erratic interview style, he says, I'm gonna do my best impersonation here. He says, I've been in the danger zone. I've been east of the Pacific Ocean, west of London, England, south of Mars, and north of hell. And I said, south of Mars, north of hell. That's something there, man.
No kidding.
I gotta put that somewhere.
That's a
Yeah.
song
And
line right there.
I think 6 words, it's not plagiarizing either. So
Is that the way it works? Yeah. There you go.
I think seven consecutive words is plagiarism if my high school English classes
Oh,
are
okay.
still with me. That's
Yeah. Now,
yeah.
this album has the big band on it. The Big
Yep.
Breakfast band.
The Big Breakfast. Yep, full band. I put out 3 EPs, some odd singles and stuff over the years. This is my first full band, full length album. 13 tracks with the Big Breakfast and a bunch of my friends in music from around this neck of the woods and beyond. Yeah, it's definitely a group effort, which is why it kind of took a while to fully come together.
Gotcha. Now, is this the first time you've recorded with the band, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. And what
Pardon?
I said, was this the first time you recorded with the band?
Yeah, it's the first time I recorded with these guys. Yeah, and it was definitely a bit of a learning process. We did the drums first, like all the drums on the record are still from the first initial recording session.
Oh,
Then
cool.
pretty much everything else is kind of overdubbed over it. You get kind of best sounding guitar, best sounding vocals and all that. But the drums we wanted to feel live. So all the drums were recorded with everybody in the room.
Gotcha. Excellent. Now,
Yeah.
a challenge for you, being with a band this time and not just you with maybe the odd instrument extra thrown in?
It was different for sure. The recording process, especially, recording is always like it's kind of funny that it's so key to what we do because it's kind of the least natural thing there is, in terms of like at least the way it's usually done with like, several takes and picking apart like, well, this verse sounded better in this song, or I mean in this take, and this verse sounded better in this take. And it's like that, but like times everything else, right? So it's like, well, we got the good drum tracks, but everything else we can kind of and I think there's what especially some people working on their first record get caught up on is like you want everything to be perfect. And, at a certain point, getting everything to line up to be perfect is can be a little bit of a fool's errand. So I'm not saying it's a perfect record, but it's the best version possible of all my songs. It was definitely took some getting used to. I as much as I feel good about my voice, I'm about as confident in my voice as a guy with low self-esteem can be. You're never going to get me feeling less confident than when I'm recording vocals and you have to listen to the vocals in isolation with no music under them or anything. That's when I get pretty self-conscious, but it was fun putting all the pieces together. Like, oh, we got to leave room for a solo here. We got to, I'm gonna get so and so to play fiddle on this, or oh, we need a guitar solo for this, or whatever. It was fun putting all the pieces together. Definitely something different.
Cool.
Like even compared to when I do full band shows, it was different than that because that's just kind of start and go, one take on everything, and just get through it. Start same place, end at the same place. Whereas getting all these songs on the album right was is a little trickier because you have the time to get them correct,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Um, so now basically it's pretty simple arrangements. You got drums, you got bass, you got electric, and you're on the acoustic, right?
Yep, for that's the core of pretty much all the songs. There's a couple more acoustic ones on there, but that's the core of all of it. And then there's extra pieces here and there on most of the songs, I'd say, whether it be background vocals or another instrument or something like that.
Yeah, right on. The singles that you've had released in 2025, and those are leads up into the album, and that's what we
Yeah.
can find on there.
Yeah. So I think total I've put out 5 songs of the 13 songs on the album as singles because Towns came out last May, I
Right.
think, because I thought the album was going to come out a lot sooner than it has. And then, yeah, this year we've put out Sleeping Around and Oh Reliable and Fins and Tuesday Nights and Thick as Thieves, and all those are on the record.
You didn't mention Obituary.
Obituary, that's a different one. That one came about from from something that inexplicably popped off on TikTok back in January, where put out a song around the time of the inauguration about how, generally speaking, even the most rich and powerful and corrupt and evil people in the world, one day they're going to push up daisies too, and by God, we'll get to see it happen. So, best revenge is living well.
Yeah.
That struck a chord with a lot of folks for some reason. I don't know. I couldn't imagine why. So that was a separate one. That one was just an acoustic single because the song was blowing up on TikTok. It got like 250,000 views or something like that.
Wow. No kidding.
And people were saying, "Oh, you need to record this. You need just put out the audio of this." And it's like I'm enough where it's like, no, this was just recorded on my phone. Like I can do a proper recording of this. So I went into Region Buzz 209, which is a studio my friend Nick Kazonis runs here in Maryville, Indiana, where I'm at,
Cool.
and just knocked it out in an afternoon and then put it out a few weeks later. So Obituary is kind of separate and everything else. And it's kind of eating everything else's lunch as well. It's in terms of numbers, that's how it
Yeah.
goes.
So you got some negative reactions from that, negative and positive, I can say.
So, yeah, the negative ones weren't as bad as I was expecting. I think
Cool.
most because I keep the song so general, like, and just, like it's a little vague, you can kind of fill in the blanks. And I think the timing of it and what we've been going through was enough to hit people what it's about, but there's nothing in there where it's like someone go, "Hey, you said that person in the song is a rich old liar and they abuse women." Hey, I know who you're talking about. Like, I just think people don't really want to come after me like that. So I'm surprised there's been relatively little negativity about it, or at least it's come my way. I'm very efficient with the block button.
That a boy. That is, yeah.
Yeah,
We've all learned how to use that real well, haven't we?
yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
Hmm.
about it. Now, I just in regards to that, you're one of the few musicians, and it kind of makes me not one of the few, but there are some, but there are also many who kind of keep maybe saying some things about the current regime. They kind of keep that
Hmm.
quiet.
Yeah,
And
I
but you went ahead and I love the way you handled it because it is a wonderfully handled that way. And
mhm.
so I think a lot of them are concerned about messing up their careers. That stuff doesn't
Yeah.
cross your mind, eh?
I mean, I think it's just, where I'm at these days with my career is, it's not like I have a huge audience to lose, really. It's not trying to talk bad about myself, but
Yeah.
I'm mostly a regional bar musician who occasionally gets up further and I put music on, but it's like, I mean, unless you got people tracking down the owners of the bars I play at and go, "Hey, you shouldn't book this guy. He's blah 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 blah."
So far, so
I
good.
don't think there's that much you can take away from me. And if people hear it and they decide to stop listening, it's like uh, it doesn't make that big a difference to me, especially seeing the reaction it's gotten,
Good.
where I'd much rather know, like, because initially when I put that song out and it started doing so well, I put a lot of pressure on myself, like, oh, I need to make the most of this. This could be a good opportunity to advance my career
Oh
and
yeah.
this and that. And then, it's like by the time it's already out and doing numbers, you're kind of chasing a moving target a little bit. And even talking to people who know about promotion and stuff like that. It's the most I could do. I put the song out and the track of it did pretty well too on streaming services and all that. And, it's just, I try and tell myself, like, yeah, it didn't get me on TV or nothing like that. But one day, on a particularly rough day for a lot of folks, I made about 60,000 people's day better. And that, what else we trying to do here?
Yeah, no kidding, eh? Yeah, good for you.
Yeah,
Great
thank
attitude,
you.
the way to look at that. That's wonderful. Um,
Yeah.
there we go. So, what are the details on this album, James? Like as far
So,
as producers, directors, listen to me, it's not a movie. Producer, engineer, what
yeah,
studio, and the band. Let's give those guys
yeah.
some credit too.
Yes, so it was recorded in Robot Studios in Griffith, Indiana, not too far from here.
Okay.
The engineer on it was Mark Adrian, who also plays bass on the record and some guitar. And it was mastered at Dynaline Mastering by Neil Zelinga, which is also an outfit in this neck of the woods. And the main band on it is Kevin Martirosian on drums. It's Mark Adrian, as mentioned, on bass. Jack Whittle mostly on lead guitar. And then there's a bunch of guest musicians. Jack and Mark both do a lot of harmonies on it. My friend Sarah does some harmonies on it. My friend Ian Gill of the band Fresh Hops, he did some harmonies on it. Stephen Jude, the front man of Fresh Hops, he plays a lot of violin on it. Jason Ray Harrell from Texas, he played fiddle on Towns. We got Joe Marsnick on some keyboard parts. And I think that's the lion's share. I play harmonica on a couple songs. And I think there's some gang vocal stuff with, just like call and response shouts, and that we got a
Hmm
bunch of friends on there as well. I'm gonna forget somebody and kick myself, but I think that's most of the personnel on the record. It was definitely a
Cool.
community effort, and like the music scene around here is a very jammy scene. So there's definitely a couple songs where I just thought, like, well, I want to get as many hands on the ball as possible on this because I really cut my teeth coming up learning how to play with other people in jam nights where it's like, oh, well, I've never played with this drummer before, but he works well with this bass player and this guy knows the songs, so we'll figure it out. Or it's like, oh, I've never had, keys on this song before, but the key player is sitting in, so we'll find a part for him, and so I tried to capture, especially on certain songs, a little bit of that free flowing improvisational sort of
hmm
feel.
hmm
Mhm.
Outstanding. Excellent. Um, so what's the release date on this again?
It is Friday, November 21st, just a
Excellent.
few weeks. And then
Outstanding.
on the 22nd, for anybody that's in the Chicagoland area, we're going to be doing a release show at Eat in Hammond, Indiana. Going to be doing a release show there with me and the boys playing through the album. And we'll have Catman Dog, one of my friends' bands, opening up. And
Nice.
Eat's a great venue. And they take good care of local music. And yeah, so 22nd is the release show at Eat in Hammond if you're in the Chicagoland area. Otherwise, the album's going to be out everywhere on Friday, November 21st.
I gotta love it. Excellent. Eats. Gotta love it. You got a place called Eats. Eh? You know
Hmm.
you're in for good music and good food, I hope.
Yeah, yeah. I've been tagging them in posts as I've been promoting the show, and their at signal on Facebook and on Instagram is just, I believe it's drink, dance, music, food, and it's like, what else you need? What
There you go.
what else
Yeah.
we doing
You
here?
gotta love it. There you go.
Yeah.
So, like all DIY musicians, I mean, I'm releasing a single on the 11th of November, which in Canada and I
Mhm.
believe is Memorial Day in the United States.
Yeah.
Um, we call it Remembrance Day here, and we wear the poppy for
Okay.
that. And I wrote a
Hmm.
song actually that I'm releasing on that day, and it's based on a letter written by World War II a husband and wife who wrote each other during World War II, and their grandson had over 300 letters. So we
Oh
used,
wow, that's
yeah,
beautiful.
wrote a song. It's called the November Project. So, and I'm in the position. where you're going to be in the position, and I'm curious as to how things go because I'm sure others are. Are you right now probably going through your head is okay? That thing comes out November 21st. I got the opening on the 22nd. Then what do I do?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, so and a bunch of my friends have put out records this year. People I know, like Rebecca Porter, Matt Moran, Will Payne Harrison.
Yeah.
So as they've been going through their promotional cycle, I've been trying to take note of like the people talking about them, the people writing about them, reviewing or highlighting or whatever. So I've actually been relatively proactive, at least for my standards, about keeping like a list of like media contacts, promotional contacts, whatever. And it's like, oh, these places will do a review in the run up or just afterwards, and these places might, post about it afterwards, something like that. So I'm trying to keep track of like after it's out, the promotional work and stuff that still needs done outside of just posting about it and sharing it everywhere,
Hmm.
trying to get more people hopefully talking about it. We'll see. But
Yeah.
it's the most preparation I've actually done for that, which is maybe not saying much for my standards, but it feels at least like I'm, doing doing the work it deserves because it's a good record and I want it to get out in front of as many people as possible.
Yeah, by all means. That's outstanding. So,
Yeah.
as far as have you thought farther into the near future in regards to? I know you consider yourself a Chicagoland area musician. Have you thought
Mhm.
about taking this one beyond the borders?
I would love to get up into Canada. I would love
Oh,
to get up further.
I never thought of the
Oh,
big
that.
border. I was thinking the state border,
Oh,
but
okay.
thank
Yeah.
you, Canada. You
Well,
be welcome, son.
yeah, I know. As soon as you're crossing big borders, there's more I's that need dotted and T's need crossing. But
True.
yeah, I want to travel more behind it as winter turns to spring, and that's some of the work I got to put in. I generally most months I play anywhere between like Michigan and the Chicagoland area, and then into Illinois, into maybe Central Illinois.
Cool.
And I definitely want to get further. I got friends in different parts of the country, and I think over the winter I want to try and figure out who I can come bother. Like maybe, oh, I'll see about getting us a night somewhere up towards Chicago if you come up here. Meanwhile, if I can get down there through, March or April or May, maybe we could just kind of that's how it's been in all my experience of getting further out is just try and help somebody and they do you a solid back. It's kind of
Hmm.
that was the original nature of my friendship with Matt Moran was just I was trying to get more towards the Southwest and he was trying to get a little bit higher up in the Midwest.
That's very
And,
cool. Yeah.
that's what it takes. That was I was just filling out a questionnaire for another interview type thing a couple hours ago, and it was talking about, what was the biggest game changer moment for your music career. And I got to think, like, the biggest difference maker for me was realizing none of us are in this by ourselves as much as it can feel like it.
Hmm.
There's working class musicians writing songs and trying to play shows and trying to play more shows, trying to play better shows pretty much everywhere, and as soon as you realize that, then even this job can be extremely isolating, as I'm sure I don't got to tell you. But just remembering there's other people in it with you trying to do the same thing. It feels like a little bit more like us against the world kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome that you have all those guys like Matt and his
Yeah,
episodes coming up pretty soon for the show too.
nice.
And and I've had Will on the show also. And you guys have a real cool trio going on. I think because the
Yeah,
sounds are kind of intermingle and they just play so
yeah.
well together. I mean, listening to your stuff and Matt's stuff and Will's stuff,
Hmm.
it just sit there and go, damn, that's where I want to be.
Yeah, there's overlap, but the parts where we don't overlap is kind of fun, right? Where
Yeah,
it's like where Will's stuff differs from my stuff and my stuff differs from Matt's stuff. Like there's obviously a lot of shared musical DNA there,
sure.
but it's yeah, I think it plays well together because where it's like Will's a little bit more honky tonk and Matt, I like to describe Matt's sound to people who haven't heard him as like it's like if Springsteen was from Oklahoma. Because Matt's really good at like the character pieces and like the very like lived in sort of songs,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so yeah, that stuff's a lot of fun. And yeah, I got to play a show with those guys over the summer. They came up
Hmm.
here on a leg of their tour and we played at Montrose Saloon in Chicago, which is a cool venue. And
Yeah.
yeah, anytime I get to see those guys and especially hear them, it's a treat.
Yeah, I saw that and I said, damn, if there was one time I could feel safely going back to the United States, that would have been
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Um, and just to bring things down to an end here and just a general chat and stuff like that, because I've just come back from the Folk Canada conference where I was a speaker and facilitator, and
Oh,
um,
great.
you got to apply for that, sir.
I will. I will.
You should.
Send me the info to that and I shall.
I will definitely because Folk Canada is a fantastic organization, and
Mhm.
if you get a showcase, there's a few U.S. artists I can point out to you that did there, and they did really well. So,
That'd
but
be awesome. Yeah, I'll have to
yeah,
try that.
so there's the big thing right now, and I mean, I just came off tour, and we were fortunate enough to have a grant provided by the Ontario Arts Council, so
Mm-hmm.
we could get paid no matter what, which is great. But there has to be at some point in time um, where it's just too scary to go out and try to get gigs or getting gigs and then but no guarantees for anything,
Hmm.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's tough.
it's a tough way to go about it
Right.
and see what you can take this album, wave it in front of people,
Yeah.
and hopefully they buy
Yeah.
or want to
Hopefully
listen to it.
so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So as far as gigs go and venues and stuff like that, things have improved for you.
Uh, I think so. It was a pretty good summer.
Hmm.
And been a pretty solid fall so far. Things obviously slow down in November and December, but it's been good. I've been trying to do a few more like proper capital S shows versus just most of my gigs are background noise gigs, where it's just you hang out in the corner, you play, don't make the volume too loud because people are trying to watch a football game, but then at the end of the night you get a guarantee on top of whatever tips you get. And
Yeah.
so it's like you need those, even though the more artistically satisfying gigs are one where people are ideally coming out to see you specifically, they're paying money to see you, and they're listening to the music and they're looking at the stage. I've done a couple more of those recently, and that's been pretty artistically fulfilling, even though it can be a bit of a roll of the dice in terms of money, unfortunately. So it's like I try and do a bit of both, but I've been trying to do a bit more of the actual shows lately. We did a great one at the beginning of October at Burnham Brewing in Michigan City, Indiana, where we had a big show in their back room where like just off the side of where they actually brew the beer, they made a big breakfast stout, they made a big breakfast burger, and it
Nice.
was pretty cool. We had pretty solid turnout.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was a good reminder of like, no, there's room for this too. Even if the numbers don't necessarily add up how they ought to, uh, all the time on shows like that. They're, we don't do this to make wise financial decisions. Otherwise, I'd just be working at the bank.
Day job or no day job?
Not currently. No, just
Okay.
just this. Trying to diversify a bit, maybe get some side projects going, but no, it's like I'm always of the feeling that there's more work I could be doing on the back end of this without going somewhere 32 to 40 hours a week and just plugging away. So
Gotcha.
it's definitely I'm in the position to be able to, relatively privileged position where before I was living with my folks and they understood, and now I'm living with my partner and she's got a great job and she understands and we make it work for the both of us. But not every artist is in that position, so I'm
I
definitely
hear you.
cognizant of the fact that I'm pretty lucky to be able to do it for however long I can. And if the situation changes, I'll make the most of it. But right now, music is my day job.
Yeah, I got it, brother. My
Mhm.
wife is the same way. She's a saint, and
Yeah.
she looks at it as why wouldn't I support him in doing what she's doing? And she's
Hmm.
a hell of a good backup singer too.
Oh, that's great.
All right, James Gedda and the Big Breakfast have an album for you coming on November 21, and it is called, and I wasn't going to forget that, South of Mars.
South of
And
Mars.
South of Mars, folks, if you really want to hear country music, this is what you got to listen to. You got to listen to James. Why are you listening to the radio? Because you're not listening to James. You got to listen to James, and you got to listen to Matt Moran, and you got to listen to Will Payne Harrison. These are some of the guys making the greatest country music right now. Sorry to say about loud folks and
Thank you.
everybody else, but damn, there's others, and I'll say it to them too, but we got to
Mhm.
support folks like you, and that's why I said, you know what? Yeah, James, you can come back on the show because we all need help, and I hope other artists reach out to me and say, my album's coming out and I need a little push. Guess what?
Yeah,
I'm here for you.
I appreciate it, Brian. Thank you.
All right, sir. Well, thank you once again, and I'll catch up with you at the end here. And again, tell folks where they can find you.
Uh, James Gedda on pretty much all your social media or on your music stream platform of choice. JamesGeddaMusic.com for all the information and show dates. And if you really want to go the extra mile, Patreon.com/James Gedda.
Ooh, oh, right on. Patreon. Now, there's a whole conversation we could have over
Yeah,
that.
that's a whole other podcast.
All right, James. Good luck with the album. I'll be watching.
Thank you so much, friend.